Okay, welcome back to the Mental Toughness Podcast.org. mentaltoughnesspodcast.org. Make sure you subscribe at the website, mentaltoughnesspodcast.org, and we'll email you a reminder each week for the new episode. It comes out once a week. Okay, so let's talk about the power of emotional motivation. This is a really big deal. Okay, emotional motivation, the thing that drives you, the things that drive you emotionally to push yourself past the pain. That's really what it comes down to. I remember playing tennis, all those years, and, you get down, you're out there for 3 hours and you're just dying. It's 114 degrees, some crazy, you're in Phoenix or Vegas or somewhere, godforsaken place with the weather. And you're just, you lose 8-10 pounds of water weight during the match. And what sustains you going forward? And I remember, when I had the emotional motivator when I was playing tennis, when I had the motivator of, I want to be my best and I want to win so badly, I could just taste it. It's just like, I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to be the best I could be, and I wanted to win. And that emotional motivation, I would think about getting the trophy at the end. I would think about how I would feel after I won. And it drove me like nothing else. And it pushed me to win a lot of matches I would have lost otherwise. And then one day, when I was about 14 or 15, it didn't go away, but it diminished. In other words, the emotional motivation to win wasn't quite as strong. If it was 100% before, it was 90% now. And any athlete will tell you that that's the kiss of death. It's over. Because your opponent, if they're world-class players or, at a high level in terms of being an athlete, they're at 100%. That's all they care about. Why people ask me all the time, they go, why does a guy like Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer or, for that matter, Tom Brady, the football player, or any of these great athletes, why do they, Kobe Bryant when he was alive playing, or Michael Jordan, these guys were so rich. Like they're the richest athletes, some of the richest athletes. Serena Williams is another one. These people, if they're not billionaires now, they're going to be billionaires. I mean, that's unbelievable. When Roger Staubach, when I was growing up, Roger Staubach was a big quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He was one of the most famous people in the country. He sold life insurance during the summers in between football season when he was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because they didn't make the kind of money they make now. Now these guys are some of the richest people in the world. So why, if they're so successful financially, why would they continue to play? Why would Tom Brady continue to play football? He's the winningest quarterback of all time. He's a legend. He's never going to lose that. Okay. He's got more money than God. All right. Why would he keep playing at his age? He's not that big of a guy. Compared to these NFL guys, they're chasing you around. I'm not sure I want one of those monsters chasing me down if I'm that wealthy, right? Wrong. They're not doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the fame. They're doing it because they want to do it. Because the emotional motivation to play cannot be replaced in their minds by anything else. They can't find it. That's why athletes, when I was working with athletes, Olympic athletes and pro athletes, especially Olympic athletes, when they were done training for the Olympics, especially in sports where there was no pro level, swimmers was a group I worked with extensively. And literally some of these guys ended up killing themselves and some of these guys ended up living under a bridge. Now, keep in mind, these are world-class athletes. These are really bright people, but they were so depressed, so despondent when it was over, the game. They didn't know how to process it. So they turned to drugs or they just fell into a deep depression, killed themselves, lost their families. This is a norm. It's not a normal thing, but it's a common thing with athletes in their 20s. I mean, they have their whole life ahead of them. They've been on a Wheaties box. Back in the day anyway. They're world famous in their sport, and they're depressed. They think their life is over. It's interesting when you think about it. Because most people look at them and say, you're Olympic gold medal champion. I've worked with them. I've had them say that to me. I remember a gymnast called me one time and said, Steve, I won the gold. He said, do you know who I am? I said, and I never worked with him before. And this is probably 20 years after he won the gold medal. in gymnastics. And I mean, like, this is one of the most celebrated gymnasts of all time. I won't say his name because I don't have his permission, but he called me up and said, Steve, I don't know what to do. I tried an acting career in Hollywood. He's a very good-looking guy, like movie star good-looking guy at the time. And he was in this big movie. I won't say what it was, but it didn't go real far. But it was a Hollywood movie, and it was the leading man. And he said, I thought I could have an acting career. Did you see the movie? I said, I saw the movie. And I thought it was okay. It was cute. It wasn't a great movie. But it was okay. He says, I don't know what to do. I'm washed up. And I said, geez, how old are you at this point? And he said, I'm 40. I think he said 41 or 42. I said, you're washed up? You're just getting started. He said, I don't know what to do. And I remember he just called me out of the blue. He knew I was a mental toughness coach. He heard me, and he got some referral from one of his gymnastics friends. And he said, I heard you could help people. I just don't know what to do tomorrow. And I said, do what you did to get you to the Olympic gold. You broke every record you could break. I saw it on TV. I remember. He goes, I don't know how to do that except with gymnastics. I don't know how to do it. I said, you got to find another emotional motivator. What was your emotional motivator? He said it was to win. That just, to be the Olympic champion, to stand on the pedestal as the top one in the world. That was it. I imagined that. I visualized that my whole life. And then it happened. And then they swept me off to Hollywood and said, kid, you got movie star good looks. And they put me in with the leading woman. It was a very famous actress right now. Again, I won't say her name, doesn't matter, but, beautiful actress. And they put me in this movie, and there was all this potential, and they were going to sign me in deals. And then the movie flopped, and then it didn't go anywhere. And I tried commercials and some other things, announcing gymnastics. It didn't work out. I don't know what to do. I said, you got to find the emotional motivator. He goes, I don't know what it is. I don't have it anymore. I'm done. I can't go back to gymnastics. I'm 42 years old. Too old now. I said, I'm not talking about that. You got to find the next emotional motivator or you're done. He said, I think I'm done. I go, no, you're not. You have to find it. It's there. Tell me what it is. He said, I don't know. So then you got to find it. You got to find out what you care about, what you'll fight for, what you'll die for. Those are the three questions you have to ask yourself. And then you have to convert that like you did, all that emotional power. Because emotion is just energy, and the higher the emotion, the stronger the energy. You got to find the energy. You got to find the emotion and then attach it to a career, a business, a job, a profession, whatever. You pick it. Don't do it for the money. Do it for the passion. Do it for the emotion. What would it be? You tell me. He thought about it for a few minutes, and then he said, well, I might want to be a speaker like you. And I said, okay, why? He goes, well, I've Googled you a few times. I've been following your career for a long time, actually. He says, I saw you go up, and it seems like you make a lot of money. And I said, don't do it for the money. I'm not looking for the money. I'm looking for the emotion. What drives you? Yeah, everyone likes to make money. That's great. I think you've probably had money before. You probably got pretty good money to do that movie in Hollywood, didn't you? He says, I did. I actually made more money than I had made in my life. I said, right. So what do you go do? Did you buy a house? He goes, I bought a house. I said, did you buy a nice car? He said, I bought a nice car. He goes, there's a lot of money. He goes, because they thought I was going to have this big career in Hollywood. And I said, yeah, I kind of figured that. Good looking guy, the whole thing. He said, oh, they make all kinds of promises. I said, yeah, I'm very familiar with Hollywood. Believe me. I said, I work LA all the time. I said, LA, there's an old joke in people that work in Los Angeles say that, by the time, as soon as you land at LAX, everything you hear from that point on, you cut in half because most of it's BS. It's a town of BS and BSers. And I shouldn't put it down because I've made a lot of money there. We have a good business there. But there is a lot of fluff. There's a lot of phoniness, a lot of fraud, a lot of, for whatever reason, that industry attracts it, the acting industry and the whole, it's all kind of it's like my friend Keith Merrill, the famous director, said one time, he said, Steve, there is no Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't, it's a little dive town outside of Los Angeles, but Hollywood, when people think of Hollywood, like these movies, these are studios, these are back lots, these are created sets out of, wood and glue, and it doesn't exist. It's all fake. It's just a back lot in a studio. That's Hollywood. There's a bunch of them. And that's very true. I said, but go back to what'd you do? He goes, yeah, I bought a car. I said, you bought a car? You bought a nice house right in LA? He goes, yeah. I said, did you buy some nice clothes? He goes, yeah, I did. Probably dated some pretty famous actresses maybe. He goes, well, a couple, yeah, I did. I said, did it make you happy? He paused. And he said, what do you mean? I said, did it make you happy? He goes, well, at the time. I go, right, so for how long? And he said, well, I don't know. I don't know. How long? What do you mean how long? How long did it make you happy? You bought the new house. How long were you happy about the house before you forgot about it? Before you realized it was just a house. It's a box. Big box, small box. It's a box. Some boxes are fancier than others. Some are bigger than others. It's a box. It's got a bathroom, kitchen, maybe 2, maybe 10 bathrooms. Maybe it's got 10 bedrooms. It's still a box with a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. Whatever. How long did it make you happy? He said, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose a few months, right? Okay. How long did the car make you happy? He said, yeah, a couple weeks. It's a pretty cool car. Sports car. Drove around LA with it. Pretty cool. Right. When did you stop thinking about the car? He said, yeah, I don't know. A couple weeks, I guess. Right. Then it was just a car. It's just a car. Some are fancier than others. Gets you to point A to point B. It's just a car. Right? He goes, yeah. I said, so dating all those fancy actress models, beautiful, gorgeous, how long did that make you happy? He said, yeah, it's fun. Pretty heady stuff. You see these women on TV and you're dating one of them. It's like, what? And I said, right. Good. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, very cool. How long did it make you happy? He got the point. And you're getting the point, I'm sure. He said, yeah, it's fleeting. I said, right. Now, how long, when you were driving yourself like an animal, and that's what it is as a professional athlete. People don't realize it's like being an animal. And when you're coaching someone like that, I've coached it and I've been the animal. It's inhuman what you have to do to an athlete at that level to get them prepared to compete at the top level. You have to drive them like a horse. It's not even human. It's just crazy, but you have to do it or they won't make it. It's so hard. And how long did that dream of being a great Olympic champion, how long did that drive you compared to the house, car, women you dated, your clothes, your watch, your jewelry, or whatever else you had, your toys that you bought with all this money you made from the movie? How long did the gymnastics dream, the emotional dream, drive you compared to these material things? And he said, well, it drove me for years. He goes, Steve, I practiced for almost 20 years to get the gold medal. 20 years. I said, were you driven emotionally the whole time? He said, you bet I was. You have to be, because your competitors are. So you have no choice. I said, yeah, but was it really a choice? Or was it just an emotion? Was it a firestorm of emotion? He said, oh, yeah, no, it wasn't a choice. It was a firestorm of emotion. You couldn't turn it off. I couldn't turn it off if I wanted to. I said, when you find that next firestorm, you won't have to call me. I said, you don't need my services. You're already mentally tough. You won the gold medal. You're good. You need to find what drove you to practice, not to win the gold medal. You're great under pressure. I watched you on TV. I watched you break records. I saw it, okay, before I ever talked to you. So I know you're mentally tough. You got to find out what drove you to practice for 20 years to get there. It's inside you. You got to find it. I can't find it for you. I don't know what it is. But until you find it, happiness will be fleeting. Like buying a car, house, fill in the blank. It's good for a couple weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 6 months, and then it's just another thing that you own, that you don't probably need. You got to find it. And so I won't tell you the rest of the story because I don't want to give his name away or anything like that because I haven't talked to him in a long time and I don't have his permission. But he's very, very famous gymnast. And now he's, that's a long time ago, I forget. But he's late 50s or maybe 60, something like that. But supposedly he found it. And I won't even tell you what business he's in because it's irrelevant. But the point is he found it and he seems to be very happy. I've looked him up online a few times. He's very, very successful. And God bless him. He went and did the work. But that's what it takes. So I want to end the episode just by saying, if you know what your emotional motivators are, it doesn't have to be one thing. It might be multiple emotional motivators. What I wanted, everyone's different, but you got to find yours. I wanted to be free. That's what I wanted. I didn't care about big houses, cars, all that. That's all fun stuff. Everyone likes that stuff. It's fun. If it's your thing, you like it. And that's great. I just want to be free. I didn't want anyone to tell me what to do. I wanted to get up in the morning, do what I wanted to do. And I wanted money, but I wanted to make it my way. I didn't want to just make it for the sake of making it because I knew it wouldn't fulfill me. And it doesn't fulfill really anybody I know. Even people that are billionaires, I know the money doesn't seem to fulfill them at all. So once you discover what yours are, it's now you just tap into the emotional motivators and you connect those emotional motivators with what you're doing for a living or what you're building in your life. And you're unstoppable. But if it's just logic like money or just logic like some kind of compensation or prize or a thing you get, a toy you get at the end, it's not going to have sustain. It'll work for a while, but not very long. You want something that has sustain over a lifetime. I feel the same way about being free. I've been free almost my whole adult life because I pushed for that. I could do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. For the most part, I have some restrictions, but for sure, but not too many. Just because that was my primary goal, was to live free. And I have, and I've answered mostly to myself my whole life, and that's really all I wanted. And again, I got it, and I feel, and if I lost it, I'd fight just as hard to get it back because it was worth the fight. For me, that's just me. You might not care about that, but whatever yours is, you got to find it and then tap it. And if it's more than one, fantastic. Tap all of them, and then direct that emotional firestorm into what you do, and you're bulletproof. You couldn't miss if you wanted to. Okay, well, that's the end of our episode today. I appreciate you guys listening or watching. Remember, subscribe to the podcast at mentaltoughnnesspodcast.org. O-R-G, okay? And we'll send you an update every week with a new episode. Thanks for listening. See you next time.